What up? Seth Miranda here. This is Adorama Rewind, and it is a heat wave here in New York. You're gonna hear the AC blazing. I heard your comments last time of what was that noise. That's what it is. I'm a fall weather guy. I can't wait for hoodie weather. If you're a Halloween kid like me and can't wait for that to come, say here in the comments just so I can hear you out there and hopefully know that I'm not alone being the fall weather creepy kid. All right, let's get into this because it's a pretty heavy week. It's pretty stacked, a lot of gear news, but this one's kind of standing out there to me. So this magazine says its stolen cover photo was a stock photo of a photo. So yeah, there's a photo of David Lynch, and you can see right here, down here on the left, that there's a plaque. It's a stock image from a gallery show of the image, and it ended up on the cover of the big issue in the UK. The photographer, Nigel Kender, I probably mispronounced that, I apologize, who's very well known actually, and he found this image and goes, wait, what's going on? And the magazine contacted him back and said, hey, we're really sorry. The art team discovered it on Alamy, which is an agency. It's a great image. We felt that would help move the magazine. So right there, they're showing that there was value in the image, right? That they're saying, hey, we thought the image was so great and would help really sell this magazine based on the cover. They're basically saying, listen, it's a stock image. We didn't know. And it was cropped out to make it look like it was a portrait that was shot for the magazine. This is kind of crazy, right? Because this goes back to what we were talking about last week with Warhol using an image of Prince to make a new piece of art, Prince of Prince. And the judge ruled fair use, right? So now this is a photo of a wall that was cropped and now used as a cover for a magazine. Where does it end? They're basically, this is going unresolved as of right now from what I understand, and they're basically saying to take it up with the agency, but let's talk. They also do say in their response that we didn't want to, let's see, I'll show you right here. We told Alamy that we were doing, and neither tried to pull the wool over anybody's eyes nor get away without paying. So they're not trying to be shady here, they just thought the image was cool. They got it from a stock agency and they put it out there, and now it's all over social and people are going like, what are you doing? So it's an image of an image that was put on stock, up there for stock use. Wow, let me know where you lie on this. Obviously, something's got to settle out here. I don't think the magazine's trying to be shady, and I think maybe that they will resolve it monetarily. We'll see if it's even selling the issue, and maybe he gets a cut of it. I don't know what they're going to do here. The original photographer that shot the stock image, though, is saying, this wasn't my intent to sell the image. It was, I shot a gallery show, and I put the images out there to share with people. Huh. I mean, also this draws my mind back to when everybody says, hey, you going to that art show tonight? And I'm like, nah, I'll just catch you on Instagram, which is pretty much what I hear all the time. So I'm wondering if this is all roads leading to this final result of a magazine cover from a photo of a photo on a wall from a stock agency. I don't know, it's kind of crazy. Let me know what you think. I really want to hear about that. Speaking of some kind of artsy, shady worlds out there, Brooklyn Beckham, the famous son of Victoria Beckham and David Beckham, is getting criticized because, well, first of all, here he is holding this nice fancy Leica. He is being criticized because he's been doing high-profile shoots for magazine covers, ad campaigns, and stuff like that. Had a book put out there called What I See, and it's been really bashed by critics. And he scored an internship with Rankin, the super well-known British photographer. We've talked about him here on the show in the past. And people that got to work with Brooklyn Beckham on the internship has been saying, this kid doesn't know how to do anything, doesn't know basics of photo, doesn't know any of it. You can argue a few things here, right? Like, is that subjective? Let's take a look at some of his work. I found ET online, found a slideshow some of his work from the book. And it's really just what he sees, his family being who they are, doing what they do, snapshotty, not very technically sound, obviously. Some, things aren't sharp. Are they supposed to be sharp? It's very raw. So is it worthy of a book? Is it worthy of giving this kid campaigns? I mean, who's to say what's right or wrong, right? If not knowing how to do a job is another story. If he's doing an internship and not performing that internship well, I kind of understand that. But to say his work is bashed because of his technical abilities, well, he's got an image that he's proud of and he puts out there. Whether you agree with it is another story. To me, it does look very photo 101, like camera and body in hand, just taking shots from literally what they see from where they're standing. Is the wool being pulled over eyes on this one, right? Is it because he's a celebrity kid that's been given resources and connection to get forward in life? But what parent wouldn't do that for their kid? Also, people like to buy into this to look like they're cultured, right? They go, oh, my cool friend knows this cool book with this cool thing. Well, why is it cool? I don't know. They just tell me it's cool, so they buy into it. That coffee table book probably got sold to every celebrity on earth. It's probably in every magazine house's coffee table in their waiting room. Who knows where it's at or what even a best-selling book means. But yeah, I'm sure his technical ability isn't there. I think what I'm wondering is, does he care? Is he looking in himself to learn how to get technically more sound? He's probably very happy with where he's at. He probably is putting images out there that he does feel proud of, and you have to respect that on some level. Tell me what you think about that down below. I mean, is the kid a gimmick? I don't know. You have to define what a pro is, what a gimmick is. I don't really know. I mean, I can define it for myself, but I'll leave that up to you guys. We'll talk in the comments about that. This one I thought was pretty interesting. Popular Gates of Heaven Instagram spot is faked with a mirror. So yeah, this has been a huge trendy spot for people to get their photos taken, and people think this is some kind of reflecting water and, oh wow, a vast space over there in Bali, Indonesia. But it really is this, a guy with a little mirror that holds it up to your phone and makes it look like you're in front of this amazing body of still water that gives you this reflection. Take it for what you will. It's a pretty basic trick that's been around forever. I'm sorry you kids are just being clued into it. Is it being duped? I don't know. You're getting the image that you wanted. Did you really care if it was water, or did you care about getting those likes? You think about that real hard before you start complaining about stuff like this. I mean, nothing on Instagram is real anyway. You hold a prism up to a lens and all of a sudden you think that this is what the world looks like. It's another preset. It's another filter. It is kind of funny though. I find it funny. The fact that you saw this spot and you flew there just to get this image. Well, you got the image, right? So that's where I stand on it. I think it's pretty nifty of the guy going up to letting tourists pay him to go do that. It's pretty solid. And I bet you this won't even affect it. I bet you people will still want that image. It's still cool looking. It's still dope. I just don't think it's a red alarm here. Another thing about Instagram is that they got a new anti-bullying tool that lets you shadow ban rude commenters. So what this basically means is that if someone's commenting on you harshly, you can shadow ban them, meaning that you can restrict their comments. No one else can read their comments but you and them, and they don't even realize they've been banned unless someone tells them like, hey man, I don't see your comment on this image. It's kind of pretty awesome. You're not creating more friction. You're not having to block someone. They'd start another account and harass you even more. It could easily just like blow things over pretty fast. I'm sure every girl on Instagram could use this with all those creeper comments. This is pretty great. Hopefully this starts moving us in a direction where the internet isn't full of just horrible comments. It's definitely, being on YouTube so much, the comments are pretty whoa. Instagram, good on you for this one. I'm pretty psyched on it. Let's talk about some gear news now. Venus Optics brings a 15mm f2 and a 10 to 18mm 4.5/5.6 lens to market. What's really cool is that they're for the Z and the R mount, so they're fleshing out the mirrorless full frame systems a little bit more, and they're the 0D. 0D means no distortion. 15mm with as close to straight lines as you can get, pretty much. I mean, that's pretty astounding to have you have some distortion, but a wide angle is a wide angle. And the 10 to 18mm, which is super wide right there, 10mm. Look at how beautiful these images are. Again, very low distortion for that wide of a lens. You guys can hit the link and check out some of these images that are shot with these lenses. I'm a big fan of super wide angle lenses. I like them a lot. I've been using the 8 to 15 zoom fisheye from Nikon lately, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. But this is pretty cool to see that the Z and the R mount are getting some love out there. The Z mount definitely could use some more fleshing out on the lenses. And speaking of Nikon, it is ending the free D600 sensor dust repairs in 2020. So you have until next year to get your 2014 D600 serviced. They were offering a free warranty covered fix for this dust issue that this camera has had with dust getting to the sensor. Of course, it was a manufacturer flaw. They've been covering for 5 years. They're saying they're chilling on it. They set $17 million aside to handle this issue, and then they also came out with the Nikon D610, which seemed to be the same body that they just fixed all the issues in. They probably think that if they look at the numbers, they've pretty much serviced all the ones that are out there in the wild. But if you have a D600, go get it serviced from this issue if you haven't already. Let's do some more gear news. Sigma has just dropped 3 full-frame mirrorless lenses here. The 14 to 24 2.8, the 35 millimeter 1.2, and the 45 2.8. These two right here, the 14, 24, and 35, are going to look like about a $1,500 price point, give or take. The 45 millimeter 2.8 is looking at 550 bucks. L mount, which is great. They can actually mature that series of lenses. I mean, you have the Panasonic S1, the S1R, and soon to be S1H, not to mention the Leica SL, which is basically what the L mount is the SL glass. And of course, Sigma is trying to put out their own cameras also with the L mount, and they also have a huge amount of lenses that they can just gear to engineer to have the L mount also, and this is the start, right? 14-24 2.8 seems like a really fun lens to put in that lineup. The 35 millimeter 1.2 is their first 1.2 on the L mount, I believe, and it's pretty cool going forward. So anybody in that system, I think they're about to really explode with a whole line of lenses. And speaking of new stuff from Sigma, they just announced the new Sigma FP, the world's smallest full-frame mirrorless camera. Look at the size of this thing. So that's a full-frame sensor with the L mount, and it actually is a CMOS backside illuminated sensor, not the Foveon sensor that they were pushing a while ago. And just so you get an idea of how small this thing is, this is a 3.2-inch back screen, right? So the whole thing is about 4.5 inches by 2.5 inches, just to give you an idea of how small this thing is. And it's packed with a lot of features. If you look at the list of features on this thing, we're talking about 24.6 megapixel. It is SD memory. It does have a USB port. You're talking about L mount for the glass, and it's got raw DNG files in there. So 14-bit, not to mention 24p at 4K for the video, 12-bit. I mean, we're really into this. I think it's pretty cool. There is no price point on it yet, so that I think is going to be the interesting part. Of course, you're going to have to find somebody that already has L mount glass, which is what the SL lenses or the new Panasonic lenses. Right? So I'm wondering what the price point in this camera is going to be, and I think everyone's just going to look for all the Sigma glass coming out going forward with the L mount glass. But even if it's this small with a full frame lens, I'm pretty curious about it. It is just cool when they make cameras that are so small, that are so up to date and modern. I'm pretty psyched on that kind of stuff. But more glass news. I know there's so much lens news. I know, just breathe it in because not everybody has the same system, so I want to make sure everybody's covered. Sony unveiled the 35 millimeter 1.8. I know you guys have been seeing this all over the place. It was announced like right after I did Rewind last week, so I didn't get a chance to jump onto it. It is super small, super light, and at about a $750 price point, it's pretty affordable for the Sony line. So Sony really put out a ton of glass really fast, very high quality glass. We just saw the 600 millimeters that are bananas. Good on you, Sony. It's nice and light and pretty affordable for what it is. Yeah, other brands have 35 millimeters that are about this fast for less money. They also have 35 millimeters that are about this fast for way more money. So I don't know what people are going on about there with the price, but 750 bucks for a 35 millimeter, that's super good quality. Everybody that I know has been using it has given it great reviews. Of Vlogger did a good article on it. I'll put that link down below. You guys can check that out. Peak Design, what? We talked about this tripod. They raised $8 million on Kickstarter for this thing. So apparently people really want it. It is their highest raise to date on Kickstarter. When they were doing the bags, they were getting 4, 5, 6 million per bag, and now 8 million plus on this tripod. So that's coming. Let me know if you're someone that pre-ordered that tripod. I'm pretty curious. Some people were like, whoa, it's a little pricey, but it is pretty good. I mean, in design wise, I don't know. I didn't hold it, but if you look at how small this thing is, if you're someone that travels a lot, does a lot of landscape photography, wants something light that doesn't take a lot of space, it seems pretty great, and I like it. That's very well thought out. Speaking of things that are thought out, Moment unveiled the world's first anamorphic lens for drones. Yep, there it is. Clip it right on and you're good to go. Anamorphic lens for a drone seems pretty awesome to me. That is one awesome aspect ratio. And if you're someone that likes filming with it, now you have yet another tool at your disposal. And yeah, they've made anamorphic lenses for your phones and other things like that. So moment you're staying on it, I think that's pretty smart. Let me know if any of you end up getting this, and let me know how you like it. I'm pretty curious to see what a drone shot in anamorphic looks like with one of these. It's pretty awesome in my opinion. In some more gear news, Canon unveiled the G7X III and the G5X Mark II. So these are like, they're trying to push these as the ultimate vlogger camera, whatever you call those anymore. Flip screen back so you can see what you're doing. But what's really cool is that the G7X, the new one, now live streams right from camera wirelessly to YouTube. So that's pretty awesome. Speaking of someone that has started their channel through their phone, the quality just sucked when I tried to live stream nonstop through my phone. I actually graduated to a Mevo myself for my personal channel. This seems pretty awesome for someone that's vlogging to just go, boom, I'm in my hotel room, I got Wi-Fi, and I'm here vlogging what's going on right from point right to live. That's pretty awesome. Canon's starting to think a little bit about what people want. And the GX Mark II has this nice little pop-up viewfinder, which is cool. So if you're tired of being someone with shaky hands looking through live view, that's pretty awesome. Or if it's just too bright out, you can sneak your eye right up against that and actually compose a decent shot. They're priced pretty well. The G7X III is $750. The G5X Mark II is $900 and are available for sale in August 2019, which is next month. This is what happens when I just read a line and don't really compute what I'm saying. Sorry, guys. And to close out the gear news, and there's the AC because it is so hot. Canon RF mount glass. I think this is the glass that people have been waiting for, and stay with me on this. 24 to 240 millimeter, f4 to 6.3 stabilized glass. Yeah, look at this. For what it is, it's super small, a lot of versatility. If you're someone that just bought the Canon RP and you just want an all-around lens, this is pretty much the lens for you. If you don't know what kind of lenses you like and you just started out shooting, you can grab this lens and figure out what focal lengths you like, how fast of a lens you might need or not need. This is it was pretty light. I actually shot this myself, and it is pretty reasonably, oh, who's that? That's Rudy. If you guys don't know Rudy, this guy's a legend. He's with us all the time when we do gear, when we get the beta models of Canon gear. He's awesome. And of course, it's gonna be very affordable at $900. So an all-around lens, I think this was what you needed, because Canon had R glass, which is beautiful glass, really amazing stuff. But if you bought a Canon RP at a pretty low price point, you didn't want to buy a $3,000 lens with that, right? So the R series is finally getting a lens that is good for a kit. I think if they start making this the kit lens, it's going to do really well. It was pretty small for what it was, for what it is. It is super light for what it is. And when I got to try it around here in the city, I was pretty surprised with a lot of fun, especially if you're getting started. So look into that. I am going to leave that off for the news. I just want to clue you guys in. I told you last week about Top Photographer. Well, the new contest is up. We're looking at landscape for this month. So you have until August 9th to get your best landscape photo up to Instagram. And all you have to do is tag TPC Nature Calling and Top Photographer, not to mention tag Adorama and Nigel Barker, and you could win this. A Wandered bag, Gitzo tripod, a Lumix S1. I mean, what a great prize package for somebody that's into landscape. And it's a great episode. Check out Adorama's IGTV. You can see the landscape episode and get some inspiration, or just get the information on what you need to do to tag your photos, and you could win. Someone already won the portrait competition last month, and we have a few more coming forward. So wait for your genre. If you're like, I don't do landscape, well, I gotta tell you, you might have action coming up and other things. So hang tight, and just go on Adorama's IGTV and stay up on this, because every month we're trying to give away 5Gs in stuff. And speaking of which, you know that we're becoming close to 1 million subscribers. So you could be 1 in a million. You are 1 in a million if you're subscribing now. If you just found this show, hit subscribe, hit the bell. A lot of educational stuff on this channel. This show comes out every week. I have my own series, Live View, Daniel Norton On Set, which weekly shows you how to do really great studio work. Gavin Hoey, the king of small spaces, little gear, big imagination, huge photos. Of course, the OG Mark Wallace, Vanessa Joy giving you Breathe Your Passion. It goes on and on and on and on. So our Kenya series, our Bhutan series, TTL, all this stuff that we've been putting out for years. We're inching up on 1 million, so go get your friends to hit subscribe, get us to 1 million. You know we're gonna do something big once we hit that number. We're getting there, we're getting there. So speaking of what happened, actually, before we go into, I'm going to read the comments, I want you to clue you into this. If you haven't joined the other platforms, there's also Twitch, which I've been starting myself here at Adorama with Josh Soleil. You can go to twitch.tv/AdoramaXP, and we just come up every Sunday, 12 to 3 Eastern Standard Time. We pull up some topics like where does hype come from, and we got the chat going. You can see everybody chiming in, and we gave away gift codes, and we have all sorts of stuff to talk about. If you're a gamer and want to talk about things or share your point of view or just have a community, just know that when it comes to Sundays, you can come on our Twitch channel and come hang out. I'm always slinging out gift codes, and also we are giving away a laptop within the first 3,000 followers. So if you go to to twitch.tv/AdoramaXP, hit follow, you are entered into enter into a raffle to win a GE73 MSI laptop as long as you're within the first 3,000. Once we hit that number, I'm pulling a name from a randomizer, and you can win a laptop. Our first one that we gave away at 1,000 followers went to Pixie Peachy, and she did a takeover this week, and she was killing it in the RPG world. Love it. All right, I'm going to pull up a comment from last week because I haven't done that in a while, and we just talked about this, right? We just talked about how a picture of a picture became a cover. Well, we also talked about Warhol using an image of Prince and making a new print out of it. It was labeled fair use. Deacon Blues writes, how much of a change do you think a photographer would need to make if taking a photo of a quote-unquote work of art that an artist like Warhol released, using as many techniques available to photographers such as lighting, gels, post-processing, that the photographer could then sell their own prints and online digital version? If a lawsuit was brought against a photographer, does anyone have a case against them? Whoa, that's a heavy thought, right? Which is basically what just happened. So a photographer took a picture of another photo and now became a mag cover. Where do we draw the line between we're documenting something or we're creating a new piece? This is where we're gonna get murky. I think going forward, what's going to end up happening is you're gonna have to deal with things just getting hijacked. And going forward is when people seek you out for your work directly to create a piece just for them. I know, breathe. I'm telling you, it's going to be a rough road ahead with image rights. I think every week we brought up something, right? I think what's going to happen going forward is that you're going to see your images just multiplied and shared out there. We're talking about nether. We're talking about ones and zeros, a phone, a blog, anything. I mean, you're talking about putting something out there for people to grab like it's the Wild West. And you can't be shocked at what happens from that. Of course, people are just gonna grab something. Most of the time when people share something, they weren't gonna buy your image anyway. But a magazine selling your image as a print on a cover, that's a bit much for me. And I'm sure it is for any photographer watching this right now. What I think is going to happen going forward is we're going to find people that are seeking out original artwork because we're sharing the same images so much that I think we're going to see more commission work out there, and that's where the real battle is going to happen, and that's where people are going to really grab for straws there. Taking a photo of someone's print and doing a ton of different stuff in camera or whatever, where does that leave us? I'm wondering what you guys think about that. So write me down in the comments and let me know, where do we draw the line between creating a new piece of work and just documenting what's in front of our lens? That's the question for this week. I gotta know. I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I don't want to cause any friction, but write me down in the comments and we can talk about it civilly. And remember, you guys can write to each other in those comments. If you see someone that wrote something you're thinking about, respond to them. You know, we get a lot of the same comments over again. That's more than welcome. But I'm really curious when those people that share a common view start talking and fleshing out that idea together. And I'm also curious about people that start a little bit of a debate, friendly debate, breathe, do this together. Okay, wow, that was a lot. There was so much other stuff, but I can only do so much in one session. Do us a favor, hit subscribe, share around, hit like. Let's get to 1 million. Let's all do this. This is teamwork. We can't do this without you, and we're hoping that you keep coming back to see what we're up to. Thanks so much for being part of this show. Thanks so much for being part of Adorama, and I will see you guys next time. Be good to each other out there, all right? Peace.